and NASA detected a mysterious object speeding toward Earth. And some actual bona fide experts think it might not be your typical space rock or maybe any kind of rock.
NASA's recent detection of a strange interstellar object has ignited one of the most unsettling debates in modern astronomy. The object, known as 3Y/Atlas, is not behaving like any natural body we've seen before. It was first spotted in July 2025, streaking through the solar system at a staggering 130,000 miles per hour. At first, astronomers thought it might be just another comet or fragment of interstellar debris, similar to the two previous outsiders, Oumuamua and Borisov. But the more they looked, the stranger it became. The object wasn't just moving fast, it was accelerating in ways that broke the known rules of physics, forcing scientists to turn the James Webb Space Telescope toward it for answers. What Webb uncovered sent shockwaves through the scientific community and left many wondering if this thing might not be natural at all. The first red flag came from the object's trajectory. Most interstellar visitors enter our solar system on odd tilted paths, since space is vast and random alignments are rare. But 3I/Atlas came in on a near-perfect alignment with the orbital plane of our planets, tilted by only about 5 degrees. The odds of this happening naturally are incredibly low, like throwing a dart from a mile away and not just hitting the dartboard, but striking the bullseye dead center. As it approached, its path seemed even more suspicious. It lined itself up for close encounters with Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, almost as though it were deliberately using their gravity to guide its course. This maneuver looked more like a calculated flight path than a random interstellar journey. Still, the real mystery wasn't its trajectory, but its acceleration. Normally, when comets speed up, it's because the heat of the sun vaporizes their icy cores, creating jets of gas that push them along, like steam escaping from a kettle. But these jets always point away from the sun. 3I/Atlas didn't follow that rule. Its plume of gas was pointing toward the sun, effectively pushing the object sunward. This kind of thrust makes no sense in natural cometary physics. It was as if a boat's wake appeared in front of it instead of behind. The acceleration was tiny, just 4/10 millionths of a meter per second squared, but it was constant. And when something this massive is being nudged in such a precise, consistent way, astronomers have to ask, what's pushing it? That's when Webb's infrared vision came into play. Unlike ordinary telescopes, Webb can see heat signatures and chemical compositions in extraordinary detail. When it focused on 3I/Atlas, the results were shocking. Instead of the blurry halo of ice and dust typical of comets, Webb saw a tight, concentrated jet of gas. Even more bizarre was what the spectrum revealed about its chemistry. The plume contained 8 parts carbon dioxide for every 1 part water vapor. That ratio is essentially flipped in every comet we know of. Our comets are mostly water ice with a little CO2 mixed in. This one was almost pure carbon dioxide, an alien chemical makeup not found anywhere in our solar system. If that wasn't enough, Webb found something else in the exhaust, atomic nickel. And strangely, there was no iron alongside it. In the natural universe, nickel and iron almost always appear together, born side by side in the hearts of exploding stars. Finding pure nickel vapor without iron is, to put it mildly, unnatural. On Earth, separating nickel from iron requires an industrial process. One such method even uses carbon monoxide gas, a compound Webb also detected in 3I/Atlas's plume. For some scientists, the evidence began to look less like geology and more like engineering. This led to one of the most radical suggestions ever floated about an interstellar visitor. What if the plume wasn't natural outgassing at all, but exhaust? The focused, narrow jet resembled the output of an ion drive, a propulsion system that humanity already uses on spacecraft. Ion drives work by charging atoms and expelling them in a concentrated beam. They don't produce much thrust, but they can apply a steady push for years on end, gradually altering a spacecraft's path. The sunward acceleration of 3I/Atlas could be explained if it were deliberately firing to slow itself down while approaching the inner solar system, perhaps preparing to enter a stable orbit. Suddenly, the idea that this was just a weird comet seemed less convincing than the idea that it was something built. The size of the object only deepens the mystery. Early measurements suggest 3I/Atlas is about 28 miles wide, making it nearly 1,000,000 times more massive than Borisov, the last interstellar visitor. If objects like this were common, we should have seen dozens or hundreds of smaller ones before catching one this large. But we haven't. This is the first of its kind. Its sheer size makes the probe theory difficult to ignore. Why would any civilization need to build something so colossal just to explore? That question opens the door to even more unsettling possibilities. One theory is that 3I/Atlas might not be a probe at all, but an ark. Imagine a civilization facing extinction, perhaps from a dying star or an uninhabitable planet. Instead of sending a small scout probe, they might build an enormous hollowed-out vessel, essentially a traveling world, capable of housing entire generations of people in suspended animation. Its slow, steady thrust would not be about exploration, but deceleration, braking carefully to be captured by another star's gravity. In that case, 3I/Atlas wouldn't be a machine, but a drifting city of the dead, carrying the last remnants of a lost civilization across the void. Another idea points to terraforming. The massive release of carbon dioxide could be deliberate, part of a planetary engineering project. Carbon dioxide is one of the main building blocks for creating an atmosphere. The fact that 3I/Atlas passed by Mars and Venus, two planets often discussed as candidates for terraforming, has raised eyebrows. Perhaps it wasn't on a sightseeing tour, but dropping ingredients along the way. The pure nickel might also play a role in some process we don't yet understand. In this scenario, humanity may not be the intended focus at all. We could simply be bystanders in a larger interstellar project to remake planets. Then there's the more ominous Bracewell probe theory. Named after a mid-20th century scientist, the idea suggests that advanced civilizations wouldn't send living beings across interstellar distances. Instead, they'd send autonomous machines designed to wait silently until a target civilization became advanced enough to notice them. Once it detected radio signals or space activity, the probe would wake up and initiate contact. If that's the case, 3I/Atlas's sudden acceleration could be its awakening, an ancient machine stirring to life after eons of dormancy, triggered by the fact that humanity has now revealed itself as technologically capable. Of course, not all interpretations are so hopeful. Some researchers point out that its size and trajectory could make sense if 3I/Atlas were a massive mining vessel. The asteroid belt and outer planets are rich in metals and rare elements. Its apparent precision and thrust could simply be the most fuel-efficient way to reach those resources. In that view, we are irrelevant. We're ants living near a construction site, and the machine doesn't care whether we're here or not. That possibility, that it could be utterly indifferent to us, may be more terrifying than any hostile intent. Still, science demands humility. There is a chance that everything we've observed so far is natural, but simply unlike anything we've seen before. Maybe there really are comets made almost entirely of carbon dioxide. Maybe pure nickel vapor can exist without iron under conditions we don't yet understand. The universe is vast and full of surprises. The problem is that right now, every natural explanation requires stacking together a dozen 1 in a billion coincidences. The artificial explanation, that this is some kind of vehicle, requires only one assumption, that we are not alone. The truth about 3I/Atlas is still unfolding. It is massive, accelerating strangely, and spewing a chemical mix that looks eerily engineered. Its path through the solar system is suspiciously precise. Whether it is a natural wonder breaking all the rules or an artifact of alien design, its arrival is a historic moment. Humanity has never faced such compelling evidence that something out there might be more than just rocks and ice. As the James Webb Space Telescope continues to track it, the world waits for answers. One thing is certain, 3I/Atlas has changed the conversation. It forces us to confront a possibility we've long imagined but never truly faced, that we might not be alone, and that the universe is far stranger than we dared believe. The mystery of 3I/Atlas isn't just about science, it's about perspective. For centuries, humanity has looked at the night sky and wondered if we were alone. We've built telescopes, sent probes, and listened for signals across the stars. But what if the first real answer isn't a message we receive, but an object that comes directly to us? Its strange acceleration, its alien chemistry, and its impossible trajectory all suggest intent. Whether that intent is exploration, survival, or something entirely beyond our understanding, it challenges our view of the cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope has given us a glimpse into truths that feel almost uncomfortable, data that hints at engineering where nature should reign. And if this is just the beginning of its journey into our solar system, then the story is far from over. In the coming months and years, astronomers will track every movement, every flicker of exhaust, every chemical shift. Each new piece of data will either bring us closer to a natural explanation or confirm suspicions of something more. Until then, 3I/Atlas hangs above us like a question written across the stars, daring us to answer. Is this a cosmic coincidence or proof of intelligence far greater than our own?